Hey everybody, we are back once again with another best of three, this time Cognitive Gaming versus King of Blades Alpha.
King of Blades, not Kings of Blade, as I've been yelled at multiple times.
It
Uh,
is kind of difficult. Like, naturally you want to say Kings of Blade instead of King of
yeah,
Blades.
Kings of Blade, because Kings of the Storm, Kings, so many kings.
Totally, yeah.
Totally. Fertile Shrine's gonna be our first map, guys. Um, Cognitive, I think, is the clear favorite in this matchup. But this is a team that has professional experience. They've competed at LANs. They've been around for a while. So I'd be really surprised if we saw a stomp like we have been. An immediate respect ban coming out from King of Blades Alpha as they insta deny the Zeratul.
I was wondering if this would be Cognitive's map pick as they had chosen it before, and it looks like it is. And I don't mind that ban at all, knowing how scary Zeratul is to deal with. He has been buffed, the cleave damage is unreal, and he is in capable hands, very terrifying to try to have to deal with. So I love the ban there. Cognitive trying to figure out who they're going to take out, maybe looking at Falstad. It's been a fairly common ban for them.
Yeah. Depending on what playstyle they want to run too. Falstad is a hero that he can fit into every composition, which is what makes him very good. But he also has hard counters to a lot of heroes. ETC, Malfurion, even Tyrande, Stitches. Whenever they make those plays, you gusto at the right time. You can completely counter what that hero's supposed to do, as well as it's great for engaging. It's great for disengaging in normal team fights. So Falstad, really great, pickup there. But they're gonna go ahead and deny the Tyrande instead.
Yeah, if any team knows the power of Tyrande, it's Cognitive. Faye has been playing Tyrande for a very long time and really showing the power of that hero. So taking her out, limiting the potential for being able to chain stun with her, plus the damage amplification from her makes her very strong in any composition as well. So Rhaegar is going to be the first pick. Cognitive, quick response with Kael'thas and Stitches. And once again, we're going to see the hook into Gravity Lapse combo.
Oh. It's brutal. Stitches, man. I think a lot of teams consider her high tier. McIntyre yesterday night released a tier list, his own personal tier list, and he put Stitches at the top for Warriors. Stitches is just such a great hero. The plays you can make with him. Cognitive's going to go ahead and deny the Leoric. Leoric's really great at countering the Stitches in the sense that if you hook a Leoric, even if you get the kill, you killed Leoric. So... Yeah, it doesn't get too much done there.
Yeah, plus you could Wraithwalk, try to Wraithwalk out, and you have Hardened Bones, which helps you tank some damage while you're doing so. And on top of that, the Auric is just he's great on Infernal Shrines. The fact that he can do a lot of damage to the skeletal minions. I like that choice of ban. King of Blades still have their ban. They could choose to take out a support. Looks like Lunara will be the ban. Did they see chat and that we were calling for Lunara? Man.
Why are you still talking about Lunara?
I see a Lunara ban.
Yeah, but look at the other side.
What? I'm so excited! Yes! Oh my gosh. Why don't I hear you more excited? It's Cho'Gall!
I don't like Cho'Gall.
Why? They're so strong now.
They're good. They're not a bad pick. I don't think they're fun to watch. Cho'Gall games are slow. It's very hard to get early kills on either end. If you do get early kills, usually it's on the end that's against the Cho'Gall, and it's games with very, very low kill counts. From my experience. Now, this is a different situation where it's with the Stitches, Uther, Kael'thas, so if the hooks are there. But after watching a lot of EU, where we've seen a decent amount of Cho'Gall, I don't think he's a very fun hero to watch. He's got that initial hype factor because it's like Cho'Gall, the two-man hero, but he's very much like an Asmodan. He's very slow. He's a very slow game with a very low kill count, except for Asmodan gets kills late game.
I am so disappointed in you.
Sorry to crush your dream. Sorry to ruin.
You are. I'm ready for Cognitive to prove you wrong. Guys, Cho'Gall got some changes in the last patch, and a pretty big like a fairly decent rework in terms of Gall's talents, and they can top damage charts now. Like Gall can easily top damage charts, and pair that with the fact that they can do a lot of sieging. They have some great utility, especially if you pick up. What? Oh, okay.
Join the game.
I'm excited about Cho'Gall, man. If you you can have some really good utility with Upheaval. Like that's the fun part for me, is if you take Upheaval and then you're like waiting and hoping for those awesome pulls. Look at that. They have Stitches and the potential for Upheaval.
Yeah.
2 different ways to pull people into their team. And then they could Twisting Nether, probably still be Shadow Bolt, because especially once you get level 20, Shadow Bolt volley is insane, but still.
Yeah, Cho'Gall's a great hero now. I mean, before the buffs, I was always saying that he was on the verge of competitive viability, and then they buffed him a lot.
They did.
They buffed him a lot, so he's in a really, really solid place. This is the first time I think I've seen a game where Cho'Gall and Stitches are on the same team. So you're right, you do have that combination of Hook and Upheaval. But guys, the game is loading. Game number 1 between Cognitive Gaming and King of Blades Alpha. We'll see who is going to come out on top here. Cognitive has had a destructive run through this bracket today with multiple 4 to 5 level leads throughout the entire day. Can King of Blades end up crushing that here?
So I wanted to point out that their bans in draft make a lot of sense too. Taking out Charonda, of course, because of her damage amplification, it can help to try to burn a Cho'Gall down faster. Leoric is also a good counter versus him because of Drain Hope, and then once you get Crushing Hope at level 13 as well. But they still do have Kharazim on the side of King of Blades, and that's going to be
chat's
important.
agreeing with me. I love it. They understand.
No way.
They understand the slowness. But guys, let's go ahead and introduce our team on the left-hand side of the map.
All right.
Off luck. Going to be playing the Kael'thas. Iacona playing the Uther. Catrung going to be playing the Cho'Gall. And then Faye, the queen of skill shots herself, going to be playing the Stitches.
That is an amazing Cho'Gall name. I want you guys to get hyped. We have King of Blades Alpha. I can't fit their full name in the overlay, so please bear with me. This is the Alpha team. We have Dark Chimera playing Rhaegar, Talking Trees playing Jaina, Frozen X on Falstad, Killusion playing Johanna, and finally Tomster will be playing that Kharazim. Also important, 7-sided strike.
Oh, Hook goes down. The stun's there. Frozen X taking a lot of damage, but just barely going to get out of there. Catrung being turned on. Enough damage to kill him off there. Interesting talent pickups there, Gilly. We have Iron Fist picked up from Kharazim.
What? As the solo support, Kharazim too, but wanting to do as much damage as possible. Everything
Solo
basic
support Kharazim. You got a Rhaegar.
Oh wait, what? What is happening? You are so right. My brain. So they are going for damage Kharazim. That is awesome. There's too much happening in this draft.
Yeah, Gilly got immediately tilted by the Cho'Gall and just completely didn't see the last 2 picks from King of Blades. Yes, it is a duo support game, and we have damage Kharazim being busted out here. We'll see how this game is going to play. We have Catrung in the top lane. Lane against Frozen X and Tomster. Tomster in the mid lane. We're going to be seeing Faye, Iacona, and Cottonluck doing their best as a trio to rotate between these lanes. Rhaegar, Killusion on Joanna, and of course Talking Tree is going to be doing the best they can to deny their pushes.
So Cho'Gall is an awesome a hero for sieging. So I like the double responsive heroes to come up here and try to deal with them too. Push them back as much as possible, because between the Dread Orb and then the Rune Bomb, you can easily take out towers right from the get-go with the Cho'Gall because of its range of those abilities.
Let's see, as both these teams get closer to level 4, the Tribute, or the Shrine will spawn here at the bottom. Glaurung asking for a pause.
This is good. This will help me untilt.
Uh-oh, half of the Gall combo is DC.
The cat!
In a lot of trouble.
Cho'Rung!
What can Glaurung do?
Awkward because I'm Gall. Wow. So I actually remember one time people were asking Blizzard, what happens if someone in the Cho'Gall pair DCs? And they're like, if it's Gall, probably okay. If it's Cho, might want to wait. And I think that's what we're going to do. Awkward because I'm Gall, but ready.
Yep. Let's see how this game's going to play out from here. They're on the point. 3, 2, 1 countdown.
There we go.
Looks like Catrung will just barely be able to get out of there. Caterpillar has ended up reconnecting here. Hook comes out, does not connect with anyone. Level 4 almost here for both these teams. We'll see if Cognitive with the Cho'Gall can contest this point. It is an Arcane Punisher, Gilly.
It
So
is.
definitely one that they want to win.
So my favorite Cho talent at level 1, Surging Dash, increases the range and the speed of that too. So really helps with survivability for Cho'Gall. Sometimes can have trouble if he gets caught with body blocks and like chain stuns too. So between that and Spurred Onward, which we also have for Gall, it's all about trying to increase his mobility and make sure that he can move around as much as possible to stay alive here as we move into level 4 talents for both teams and working on this Arcane Shrine.
Healing Ward picked up here from Karazim, just for the extra spread healing. I think their plan this game is to outlast the Cho'Gall's damage and just over-sustain them. And they're going to win this point, too. They have 35 minions killed, as Cho'Gall did not rotate down. Tomster doing the best he can to lane versus them. But that's going to be the first Punisher of the game, going over to King of Blades. And we'll see how much damage they can do with it. As Cho'Gall's being collapsed upon the top lane, Frozen X not going to be able to get a kill, though.
So yeah, a lot of teams are mostly okay with giving up that first Punisher because of the fact that you can bait it over so easily and deal with it. And Arcane was, you know, still probably considered the strongest, but a lot less strong. They did nerf those in the patch. So they're going to be able to deal with it, only losing the 2 towers. What would you say? Do you think that Arcane's still the strongest, or do you think it's Frozen now?
I have to see way more games to be able to tell. Arcane's still very good.
Yeah.
Frozen might actually be the better one now, though. I just haven't seen enough game to know quite yet. Faye and Iacona do scout out Talking Trees and Dark Chimera. They're going to end up kiting back here. Cat Rung doing the best he can in that top lane. Great poke versus Frozen X. Tomster, of course, even though not support build, can still heal himself up and Frozen X. But going to be a tough lane for Cat Rung to end up coming out, as both teams are getting closer and closer to that level 7, Gilly.
So they, both Cho and Gall are, oh, actually Iacona, hold that thought, might be in trouble. Cho and Gall both upgrading the Rune Bomb, increasing the range for Gall, as well as the rollback. So that allows it to come and go and come all the way back, dealing damage on its way out and back in. But not getting Runic Persistence, so if they blow, oh wait. Yeah, not getting Runic Persistence, so if they blow it up, then it won't roll back in, but it still does do a lot of damage, and it's nice to be able to throw out on those shrines, especially if you can kind of get them in a line, the little monsters.
Last bite on this map makes so much sense. Stitch is picking that up. Taking a look at level 7 talents, going to be Wave of 100 Fists picked up by Karazim. You know, just really looking to put out those numbers. We should be seeing 7-sided strikes for him for the Cho'Gall. As we're getting closer and closer to those rugs. Both teams very even in experience, despite the damage that Punisher did to that bottom wall. Great soaking so far from Cognitive. And the Shrine's going to spawn in the middle here, Gilly. It's going to be really tough to for Cognitive to contest this point. We'll see if they can do it, though. They need to get picks, but King of Blades is playing so safe with their front line.
That way of 100. There's a pick onto Collusion into a Hammer of Justice, as well as the Gravity Lapse. Iron Skin now be going down, but Faye did have body blocks for a while. The Iron Skin is now done. Healing Ward comes down, but still they're able to keep Collusion alive, and no picks just yet.
Double support really showing its value there. I mean, Joanna was dead to rights. Great body block. The CC lock to deny the Iron Skin was almost perfect there, but without Cat Rung's damage there at the initial start, wasn't enough to secure the kill. They're contesting this point right now. Looks like Cognitive has most of the minions, as they are at 17 versus 5 here. But great bullying so far from King of Blades as they're forcing Cognitive back. A nice hook goes down on the Tomster, but nice dash foot back over the wall. Still no kills just yet in this game, and we'll see what they can do with that. Collusion taking a lot of damage. Tomster getting some damage onto Faye. Condev comes out. Faye's the first blood of this game, and they're chasing this down. Catrun does dash on out of there, and it's still only 9 more minions needed for Cognitive to get this point here. Catrun taking a lot of damage from Dark Chimera and Collusion. Next does zone them out. Iacona and Cosmluck with the spells over the wall. They're trying to get the last 5 minions. Can they do it? They're trying so hard with this long-range poke. They do have great siege from a distance. Only 3 more needed. They're trying their hardest. The Flame Strike comes out. It's going to be the Punisher going over to Cognitive, and there looks like all 3 should be able to get out of there alive. Catrun taking a lot of damage. Gets the last dash. Tomster going for the kill. Flame Strike does connect with Tomster. He needs a heal from the last second. Will the Living Bomb be able to get it? He does heal himself, so that will be no one dying on the end of King of Blades, and they they almost have themselves level 10.
That was a great siege from Catrun to be able to just continue throw out the damage, despite the fact that they did lose someone early on in that fight. And now they're trying to catch back up in experience, so they're rotating back out into all of the lanes. Cho'Gall going to go and start sieging down onto the bottom. Punisher has been dealt with, but the towers are picked up in mid to help with the experience, and there are the heroic abilities for King of Blades. Alpha, it will be Mighty Gust, as well as a 7-sided strike, Blessed Shield, Ancestral Healing, and the Water Elemental for Jaina.
A pretty normal heroics here, nothing too surprising. 7-side strikes, with the combined HP pool of Catrung is going to do so much damage if they can ice him. Next goes in for the gust, but does get hit by a hook from Faye. She's isolated. 7-side strikes goes down. Condemn fall off there. Good heals coming out from Iacona. Divine Shield at the last second, and they keep her alive. But can they get the kill? The Blessed Shield comes out, and a pause as Caterpillar DCs. The Blessed Shield did end up going out, but it wasn't. It was just a second too soon. Faye did not get stunned because she still has a Divine Shield effect on her. They're still chasing this down. Rhaegar's above. Fair Lunge won't be able to secure the kill. They really need to get that. I don't think they can get Faye.
And it's going to depend on Caterpillar. You should be able to get away as long as they've got either Hurry Up Oath or the Surging Dash. Here we go.
They're going for the chaser. Tomster does secure the kill onto Faye. Catrung gets hit by the Condemn. Nice turnaround onto Tomster. They don't have Rhaegar for those heals. There is the ultimate from Gall, but not enough to save him. That's another kill going down. Flame Strike comes out onto Tomster. He's taking a lot of damage, but here's Dark Chimera with the heals to top him off, and King of Blades up 4 kills to 0.
So that's the Way of 100 Fists, which is a really the standard pickup when you do on occasion see the damage. Kharazim, it's much more damage when you Radiant Dash to an enemy than just the basic attack that you get otherwise, and they were able to pick up the kill on Stitches. Really good timing too, just hit it as soon as the that's going to be a dead Rhaegar.
Yep, they know those points when they get the kills, those hooks over the walls. I mean, this is something these guys are well aware of, and a nice snipe kill there. Coming out from Cognitive, that's going to be their first kill of the game, catching Rhaegar out like that. About a full level read right now for King of Blades, and this is, been a surviving turn of events here for most people watching. King of Blades definitely the underdog here. They're doing a fantastic job keeping themselves not only in this game, but ahead. This is really great play coming out from them.
Yeah, steal on those Khazra to be able to pick up those just as the shrine is getting ready to activate. But Coffin Luck is getting collapsed on now too. Shield Glare will come out. He's not going to be able to get away from that. And just in the nick of time for a shrine, they're able to take out Kael'thas. What?
Kharazim's 3rd highest damage in the game.
Yeah, man!
He's out damaging Kael'thas, Falstad. Oh, man.
Sorry, guys, I can't run the overlay apparently. There we go.
Damage Kharazim. Nice Condemn coming out. Catrung taking some damage. Blessed Shield connects. Well, we see that 7-side strikes. The body block's happening. Good heal on the Frozen next. Catrung's doing solo. And this body block coming out from Collusion is really good, but they do not secure the kill. No 7-side strike was used. Hooks does come out. Does not end up connecting with Tomster. That's going to be level 13 secured here for King of Blades. And they're trying to get on this point here, but the Siege, we saw the poke from before. Can they deny? They have 5 members here trying to whittle this down. Cognitive trying to come in. Another Condemn comes out. They don't have Blessed Shield up. Nice, a lot of damage coming out with that AoE onto King of Blades. A big hook comes out on the Collusion. He doesn't have Iron Skin popped his head, and he pops at the last second to avoid the gravity lapse. Nice timing there coming out from Collusion, and I think Cognitive wins this Punisher.
Yep, they're going to be able to pick it up. The Siege was unreal. Even down level 13 talents to King of Blades, they're still able to pick up the Punisher and start pushing with it too. And immediately we see them separate once again into trying to get as much split soak as possible. They know they're behind. They know they need to catch up in talents, and that just pushing with the Punisher isn't enough, and they're trying to protect their structures as well by having Kael'thas up in top. By the way, we do have Hammer of Twilight, so it's not the double pull with Upheaval that we see. There goes Shadow Bolt Volley, trying to help them as much as possible, put whatever pressure they can on the fort, but they're getting collapsed on.
Taking a lot of damage for Faye with the Future Battle, trying to kite back as well as she can. Collusion not able to get the re-engage here. The Punisher is going to do some serious damage to this fort. Will it be able to get it? Oh, hook goes down on the Tomster. Can he get the dash away? And he does, just barely at the last second. Nice positioning there. Glaurung going for the chase. Catrung going for the chase. Not going to be enough to secure that kill on the Tomster. The heals coming out from this team are really doing work here. Tomster, despite going a DPS build, is almost keeping up with Rhaegar and heals. He's 300 behind.
Ridiculous. That was good play. It was excellent play. I forgot that this is something that he likes to do, is damage DPS. I think, or damage Kharazim. I think he actually put that in the survey that you sent to them for Heroes Rising, right? He really likes to play it. I'm pretty sure. But anyway, level 13 has finally been picked up, and we have the very important Molten block that helps with survivability for Cho'Gall. Hook goes down on the Talking Trees, but Tomster is coming in, as is Collusion. They're getting collapsed on. Putrid Bile has to go out, trying to stop the advance. Meanwhile, seven-sided strike.
Talking Trees got so low in the backline to the Shadow Bolt volley, just barely going to survive here. The heals are really showing its work. Frozen X gets so low. Can Collusion save him? The hook comes out. That is a dead bird. You are going to go down, Falstad. That is going to be another kill going over to Cognitive here. Kills 2 to 5 as we're hitting level 15 for King of Blades. They're doing a good job of keeping ahead in the experience, but the siege potential on these points from Cognitive, we see the damage coming out from Cho'Gall and Kael'thas is really starting to show its effect here. Nice use of Iron Skin there to avoid the Graviolapse. That could have been really bad with the hook follow-up. Oh, hook comes out, does not end up connecting with Dark Chimera there. And Falstad should be up very, very soon, about 6 seconds, and then we'll see where he wants to fly. Trying to clear out this wave here. Collusion taking some light poke here. Cosm Luck's been doing a great job with his positioning so far, not only with the Graviolapses, but with those living bombs. He finally has that chain bomb, so you can see the effect of it in these team fights. And we've seen a few times with the clumping up of Cognitive, or excuse me, King of Blades, that they did a lot of damage without chain bombs, so they'll have to be very mindful of that going into these next fight.
You know, I usually really love Upheaval because of the utility that it brings to your team, but in this case I love Hammer of Twilight because if you watch their positioning, they have Cho'Gall just like slightly ahead or right next to Stitches, and once someone pulls them in, then they just activate it and can throw them back even a little bit further and stun, and that almost worked in even taking out a Karazim, who has the Radiant Dash to be able to get to his team. So I love the synergy in those two heroics, not ever something that I would have thought of, but they're really making it work. And once again, they're sieging up a shrine and far ahead, but they're facing level 16, so they've got to be really careful about their positioning until they can get one of those picks.
Yeah, the fact that they're getting to these points beforehand is really going to make it easier for them to siege this down eventually. Level 16's picked up here for King of Blades. It's going to be Northern Exposure picked up on Jaina. We're going to be seeing Blinding Speed on Karazim. It's going to be Holy Renewal on Joanna. And then Hammer Time picked up on Falstad. So we'll see how they can utilize these tiles to their advantage as we are trying to get onto this point. Cognitive still has that advantage on the kills, 19 to 11. King of Blades looking more like they want to fight rather than contest the point. They only have Joanna focusing on those kills, and every time the Condemn comes out, the bomb there is perfect from Cat Rung to deny it. Tomster going in, the knockback is there. The bomb comes out yet again to secure more minions. A lot of damage coming out from King of Blades, but a really good disengaging. The hook on the Karazim. Tomster, you're not going to get out this time. The 7-side strike goes down. The Gust is dead. And Tomster with the Ancestral just barely going to live. But Derek Khmer going to go down to the Shadow Bolt volley, and I don't know if they can contest this. Cognitive has 16. They're looking to re-engage onto the point. Collusion at the front line gets stunned. He puffs the Iron Skin. Graviolapse connects with Tomster. There's a stun from Iacona and a good hook as well. Tomster's trying to get there, but a nice turnaround kill onto Cosm Luck. They're trying to get Tomster. Great heals coming out from him as well. Iacona having to reposition, and King of Blades gets the trade.
Yep, but they are still neck and neck at the shrine, and it is Cognitive who gets back in there first, throwing down Consuming Blades, everything that they possibly can. But here come King of Blades as well, right back into it, and they've isolated Cat Rung away from Iacona, but they still do lose Jaina, and Molten Block comes in to help provide a little bit more survivability, and with that, Cognitive do pick up the Punisher. Will they be able to get out of this, though? Tomster comes in with the Radiant Dash, throwing out the damage while he can. Divine Shield finally does go down onto Cat Rung, but because of that, Uther gets taken out by the 7-sided strike. Karazim falls as well. It's only Johanna left, and she's so low. Can they get the final kill? The Punisher going to help out. Will they be able to pick up Collusion? Yes, a full kill there on top of King of Blades.
Yeah, that was all 5 members dying throughout that fight. Really well executed team fight from Cognitive, just showing the power of Cho'Gall in those sieging situations. The fact that Gall does not have a mana pool just allows him to siege for days and days. And, the longer the fight goes on, despite having the double support, Cognitive seems like they're just going to be able to come out on top with, eventually they're either just going to whittle them down or they're going to hit a hook. And
yeah,
that seems to be the case here. The experience has been evened up. The Punisher will be cleaned up. Should not be able to get this keep here. So King of Blades, despite losing that fight, they're not in a horrible position as they still are even on keep. But Gilly, look at the map for Cognitive. All 3 forts still standing.
Yep, all of the forts still up. The siege has been pretty unreal from Cognitive, and they finally have gotten the level lead back. And with the pickup of Twilight Nova too, where you see the 3 Dread Orbs bouncing, that's going to help them pick up those shrines even easier on top of that too. Both teams looking at picking up their level 20 talents before the next shrine fight, and an invade happening from Cognitive trying to steal some of these away, looking for a hook, and they find it on Frozen X.
Yep, they do get the barrel wall out there, just barely going to survive. Good heals coming out. There's the Shadow Ball volley. Talking Tree's getting very low, but nice body block from Collusion. But that's going to be the death of Jaina. Frozen X getting very, very low as well. Collusion getting the Condemn down, taking a lot of damage. Essential Healing does connect to the last second. That was so close. That's 45 seconds without Jaina, and we'll see what Cognitive can do with this time. The hook comes out, does not end up connecting with anyone. The body block was there for most of the Shadow Bolt volley, but the last few strikes did end up connecting with the Jaina, and that's a big advantage for Cognitive right now.
That was a perilous place to try to fight for King of Blades because of Chain Bomb. They were caught in that such a tight area, and because of that, it was really easy to spread the Chain Bombs out. And final fort now falling on the side of King of Blades. Cognitive looking to steal some more mercenary camps, keep the lanes pushed, keep the pressure onto King of Blades so they sit back into their base, and that affords Cognitive to once again get into the better positioning once we do have the next shrine spawning, which should be pretty soon.
Well, Gilly, we need to keep in mind as we're getting closer to 20 that Shadow Bolt Volley Pierce is going to be terrifying in these team fights. Look at how much damage they've been doing. And imagine now everyone in these chokeholds getting hit by every one of those volleys. That would be so devastating. Even with the double support, it's not going to be enough to heal that up. So they have to be very mindful of their positioning whenever that does end up coming out. As they're about half level away until level 20 for Cognitive there. And this is a really awkward situation for King of Blades because they're having to react to all of these Merc camps. Especially with these the left bruisers being picked up now. If that doesn't get cleaned up, while they're contesting this shrine down here, that will get keep. If they do not clean this up right now, those bruisers will get keep in the time that it takes to take this. And that's why you're seeing Collusion and Frozen X. They don't have a choice. They have to clean up these bruisers.
Level 20 just now picked up for Cognitive, and we will see... yep, there's the Shadow Fury. We also have Will of Gaul, so now Gaul can make Cho unstoppable, just further trying to make sure that he can get away if he does get caught out. Also Hardened Shield for Stitches, Bolt of the Storm for Kael'thas, and Redemption for Uther.
You see that level 20 is here for both teams. We'll see what they can make happen with this King of Blades. Is in an awkward spot. They do clear out that top lane, but now they have a push in their bottom lane with that Arcane Punisher. Cognitive playing this as safe as they can. You know, when you're running the Cho'Gall, any picks is devastating because it suddenly goes from a 4v5 versus a 3v5. So they're just making sure they wait patiently for their entire team to get here. Hook comes out, does not end up connecting. I love Cotham like preemptively casting the Gravity Lapse just in case it does end up connecting. That's just the the safety synergy coming out from those two heroes. Siege is happening here. Punisher's already at half HP, but can Cognitive get themselves a keep? They don't have the best siege as they only have the Cho'Gall, who's really good at pushing in the single keep. The Punisher leaps for fall, said the hook does not connect with anyone yet again. It looks like Cho'Gall's damage is enough though to secure this early keep as the Punisher does end up falling down, but it looks like King of Blades wants to force the fight. There's Putrid Bile pop there. They get the Condemn onto Faye. The knockback goes on the Thompson. There's the Shadow Bolt volley doing a lot of damage. Frozen X getting low on the back line. They get the chain heal at the last second though to keep him alive. No Ancestral has been popped. A hook from Faye gets Frozen X. The Gust goes down, but that's going to be a dead fall side. 7-side strikes goes down on the front line, taking a lot of damage. Faye and Catrun getting low, but I think with this 4v5 turnaround, they might be able to win this fight. Thompson taking a lot of damage from Catrun. Collusion going for another Condemn there. Good heals coming out so far from Iacona. Divine Shield pop from the Cho'Gall. Thompson looking for the kill on Iacona, but he has the rest. Thompson gets it. Ancestral Heal connects with him. Catrun trying to keep topped off here. Good heals from Uther. There's the Ice Block as well. They're going to keep him alive, and Uther's going to be able to res and keep healing there. And Talking Trees with the bolt does get out of the fight, but he does fall as well. Thompson trying to get the kill on Catrun, but he's going to fall. Living Bomb doing so much damage in this fight. They're going for the chase on Dark Clear and Collusion. They're trying to end this out here. Can Faye get a hook onto the Rhaegar there? The stun goes down onto Collusion. Does not end up getting him. Faye looking for the hook, but not going to be able to get it, and they're not willing to push core with just the 4 of them. They're going to back out of there, but they secure themselves that first keep.
Man, I'm so impressed with the positioning from Cognitive in this. They know that they're up against a Transgression 7-sided strike, so they know that it's going to hit 11 times, and it's very important that of course, but Cho'Gall most of all, but also just anybody does not get caught out and take the full hits from that. And so they've constantly been making sure to just stay together. As soon as they saw that come out, we saw 3 members move into it to make sure that it was Uther, Cho'Gall, and Stitches all making sure to share that damage and then heal up after that. Iacona was the first one to go down, and because they had Redemption, he was able to come back, so I love their decision to continue fighting. But you know, when they're grouped up, they kind of force the melee members to group up onto them, and that's perfect for Chain Bomb. So it's really fantastic positioning from them in these team fights, and they're making Cho'Gall work, that's for sure.
Yeah, they're doing a great job of it for sure. Taking a look at the damage done this game, Gilly, Gall is double the damage of the second person on their team, who happens to be Cho. So the top 2 damage for Cognitive are Gall and Cho. That is just ridiculous. Jaina and Karazim are the other top 2 damage in the game, with Jaina doing 50k damage, Karazim doing 50k damage. Karazim's keeping up with the Jaina. What? Hello? Tomster, man, doing work this game, but can they contest this point? It's taking a lot of damage. A hook goes down on the Jaina. The stuns are there. Will they be able to get the heal? The Ancestral Gust was perfectly timed from King of Blades, and they keep talking she's alive.
Now they're moving back into this now. For now, Cognitive holding onto the point in terms of how many that they have taken out. Water Elementals coming out. There goes Seven-Sided Strike into Transgression once again, and it's only Catrung and Faye in there. And a Molten Block has to be used, as well as the Divine Shield. The Shadow Fury trying to throw down damage. Still nobody down, but man, so many members of King of Blades are low. The hook catches Tomster. Does he have a Radiant Dash in time? He jumps. Is the Living Bone taking him out?
What?
It will take him out.
Secures the kill onto Karazim, and they're going to force him to. If Karazim would have lived there, that might have been the King of Blades turning point in this game, that they could have made something happen. But with Karazim down for 50 seconds, him being the top damage for their team, they cannot contest this point, and they're going to go ahead and give this up. Then that's really bad. That's a really tough situation to be in. Oh my god, the invade from Iacona and Fade. They catch Dark Chimera. He's taking a lot of damage. They cap the point themselves. That's going to be a Punisher pushing with those Siege Giants. Dark Chimera's taking damage. Gravelapse is dead. And with Karazim dead for 30 seconds, Rhaegar dead for 60, with a Bruiser camp as well as the Punisher pushing this top lane, I think this is going to be game, Gilly.
I think you're right. They have done a fantastic job through this, showing the power of Cho'Gall, the damage of Cho'Gall, new Cho'Gall even. And here the Mortar Punisher is jumping in on the members. Is made short work of by Cognitive as they're starting to move in. They would like to get another kill, maybe secure that, at least get the Punisher to move onto the core if they can get that too. And there it goes onto the jump, onto Collusion, who is going to condemn in Collusion. Indestructible gets popped now. They won't be able to get the takedown on him though. Gravity Lapse does not connect. And now, the Punisher has actually been taken out of, but they're still going to continue working on this. No Rhaegar for 20 more seconds.
Yep, the core is taking a lot of damage. There's the Shadow Bolt volley, and it looks like this might be enough here. They do get the kill on the Uther. I believe he does have the redemption up. Cawthon getting very low himself in the backline. They're trying to clear this up here. They get Cawthon. Iacona is back up. He gets a Divine Shield onto Gall, and I think that should be it. Phase low. That's it. Game number 1 goes to Cognitive.
Whew. What a crazy game.
Yeah. That was a much closer game than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Blades almost even on kills, 10-13. Cognitive with an interesting draft for the map. It just seemed like they're just able to bully every objective. With the constant siege. I mean, with the constant free living bombs coming out from Kael'thas and the free mana on Gall, where you just cast spells all day. They're just able to siege for days.
Look at his damage.
Yeah, he's a dumb hero.
Unreal.
Yeah. He is a bit ridiculous. Karazim, I mean, we really got to highlight Tomster's play. We don't get to see damage Karazim too often. He did 66,000 damage that game. He outdamaged Kael'thas.
He kept up with Jaina.
Kept up with Jaina. I mean, really showing the numbers that Karazim can put out in these situations. Especially, it is a bit inflated versus Cho'Gall, as they do have a higher health pool, so the 7-sided strike ticks do more damage than they normally would. But still, really cool game from King of Blades.
Yeah, both teams playing really well. I'm very excited to see game number 2. We're going to go to a break while we get that set up, guys, so don't go anywhere. See you soon.
Meow.
Zoya, who needs a Super Bowl when you've got Heroes games as good as that one?
I want to watch the Super Bowl.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you'll probably still get to see some of it.
Nice.
We are ready for game number 2 between King of Blades and Cognitive, and the draft's already started, so I'm going to hop right over to that.
Oh, let me go ahead and open that.
Good idea.
Just a quick update on the bracket. I believe Tempo Storm advanced 2-0 over Panda Global, so they will be playing the winner of Team Blaze and Team Elevate for one of the qualifying spots. Still no update on Resurgence versus 2ARC, but the winner of that will play the winner of this series for that other qualifying spot from today's event.
So far we have Falstad and Rhaegar bans. 2 pretty standard ones. Tyrande is going to be the first pickup for Cognitive, and King of Blades are going to steal the Stitches away from Cognitive, as well as the Kael'thas.
Tyrande, no surprise to see them first pick her on this map,
Yeah.
especially if Faye's love of the Pierce build. Delaying tributes, you can do it for days as Tyrande, especially with the reduced cooldowns and stuff. So Cognitive, not too surprised with that first pickup. With their next 2 picks, Stitches Kael'thas, which have been a kind of theme of Cognitive's drafts today, have been denied. So we'll see what they want to pick up. Looks like it will be the Zagara. Zagara's always been great on this map. Maz can completely turn around a fight, especially over those boss points. The vision is great. You still have a bunch of great damages as well. Jaina is still available. Should probably be seeing a support pickup here. I wouldn't be surprised if Cognitive picked up an Uther early on. They could lock in the Thrall as well. But
if Glau feels like playing Thrall again.
Yeah.
Looking so far at what we have Tyrande and Zagara versus Stitches, and both of those could be in a lot of trouble if they get hooked. The escape is not really there, but Tassadar has a very good escape and is going to help with the supporting. So it looks like we will be Tassadar Tyrande as kind of the dual support, making up the supports as well as throwing out damage. Bans coming out. King of Blades could choose to ban a warrior here. They have their own.
Yeah.
Or limit damage. I like the Jaina ban, especially since they've already picked up Kael'thas.
Yeah, they don't need to ban on support either, as Cognitive's going to run Tyrande and Tassadar duo support.
Right.
Cognitive with their next ban, they probably want to look to deny damage themselves. Maybe a support. They could ban the Uther out here and force King of Blades onto, Morales or something.
But I think Heroes Rising, we saw Dark Chimera play Morales and did a really good job with it. So they have options for sure. And, they do have a Karzim player. Whether they like only playing that as damage or not remains to be seen.
Yeah. We'll see what the support they want to pick up here. But Cognitiv's going to go ahead and deny the Rhaegar, or the Raynor. They haven't locked in the ban yet, so... Yep, there it is. So Raynor going to be banned out here.
All right, so with Raynor, they could be looking at ETC as their warrior if they want to try to stop him. Falstad's also been banned out, so they could get a lot of value out of a Mosh without those 2 interrupts. For now, they still do have Gravity Lapse and Hook to be able to stop the Moshes, but if you can get a Mosh, a good one on both of them, or maybe around a lot of minions where it kind of can block either of those skill shots, then they could be looking at that.
Well, keeping an eye on these 2 picks for King of Blades, they have a lot of options on the table. As so many damage were banned and picked out, though, early on, we'll have to bring up Greymane himself. I was about to talk about Greymane and Lunara. As we get deeper into the damage pool this game, the heroes like Raynor, Valo start normally popping up, Sylvanas, but with the rise of Greymane and Lunara, I'm not too surprised to see them picked up here. King of Blades, gonna lock in that Karzim like you said, Gilly.
All right, so we have Karzim, one more pick for them, still remains to be seen. Cognitive now will grab their warrior and something. Maybe a second warrior, probably just more damage of some type. We'll see what they choose to get. With Greymane, it tends to be 2 different builds that we're seeing. Most of the time, it's speccing into Gilney and Cocktail, making sure that he's more of a ranged assassin until it's time when people are low enough that he can kind of pick them off going into the Worgen form. But last week and occasionally in other places, we've seen more of a Worgen-centered build, getting thick skin at level 4 so that you have those block stacks, and being more of a melee assassin type because he does have the additional damage when in Worgen form, as long as you can keep him alive.
Yeah, he's got great damage. Cognitive going to lock in Thrall. That's going to be who Glaurung is on. Who's the warrior pickup? Don't do something weird.
What is weird?
Like murky here. It's going to be Diablo. Okay. That makes
Nice!
sense. Diablo Tyrande.
Yeah.
Great duo.
Plus Apocalypse with Devouring Maw. They have Sundering with the Maw. And Force Wall too. They have a lot of potential for just zoning people out. One last pick for King of Blades. So they could go for another warrior that would be really melee heavy. But then they'd have a strong front line for the Greymane and Kael'thas, and Greymane can jump in go for the throat once they can kind of pick people lower. With a hook, though, they could just go damage and just look to stay further back and hope to get picks that way. They've got options.
Yeah. We'll see what they want to lock in here. Double warrior wouldn't be too bad. Nice tanky front line.
Mm-hmm.
Glaurung's tilting me.
Why is Glaurung tilting you?
Because he's typing in the lobby and he shouldn't be. I was just making sure that King of Blades knew that perfect aim is not pickable, and it will force a regame if they take it.
Right.
And then Glaurung was trolling me by being mean. Sylvanas picked up his last damage. You got the silence. Great push on this map. With all the other damages being banned out, you get deeper into this pool where Fala, Sylvanas, tend to see picked up here.
Yeah, the Wailing Arrow will be nice. Also, just the fact that you could push in, and her trait is almost like a mini curse because of the fact that you can stop the structures from attacking. So if you want to fight, or even just if you get a good rotation and you can quickly pick up some towers, pick up a fort here and there, and be able to get ahead in experience by taking out structures.
Well, guys, King of Blades down 0-1, but they had a really close set versus Cognitive. Now, Cognitive did have an unconventional draft with the Cho'Gall, but we did see the value of it on that map with the infinite siege that they had. They were able to win almost every single one of the Punishers. I think King of Blades won the very first one, and they didn't win another one the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Old man Cawthon.
Even when they would lose people, Cho'Gall would just sit there and roll out the rune bomb over and over again. And then orbs would come out and bounce through. And it was like, just when they were getting ready to pick up a nice group of them, then rune bomb would just be like, hello, and then pick up all of those minions. And then roll back and get some more too.
Why does all the other streams get Lunara games, man? Elevate just picked Lunara. Well, guys, the
Don't lose
countdown
hope.
is starting here, Gilly.
It is.
And we're going to get two.
We have the Circus, I think, is it Ringmaster Greymane? Is that the name of the
Yes,
skin?
something like that. I don't know the name of it, but that's the one he's wearing. He looks adorable. And then we've got the Fairy Plum Princess Queen Sylvanas skin.
Sugar Plum Fairy?
That's what I said.
Fairy Plum Princess Queen.
Yep.
This is
that one.
the new title to aim for, guys.
Yeah, it's great skin on Sylvanas. One of my favorites. Guys, we're loading into game number 2. I mean, that was a really close game number 1, despite the unconventional draft from Cognitive. But Cognitive drafting a bit more standard this time. We got the double support Tassadar Tirana playstyle. We'll see if they can come out on top or if King of Blades tie up the series.
Well, the loading is upon us.
Loading is upon us.
We're almost there. Cursed Hollow. I'm excited for some more owl build. Hopefully we'll get that, as that is really annoying to deal with when you're trying to pick up a tribute.
Well, let's go ahead and introduce our teams on the left-hand side of the map. It's going to be King of Blades Alpha. On the left-hand side of the map, it's going to be Kael'thas, played by Talking Tree's Collusion on the Stitches. Tomster going to be playing Greymane. Dark Chimera on the Karazim, and Frozen X rounding out the team on Sylvanas.
Mean Owls already coming out from Cognitive side, who are in the red, and it's Faye playing that Tyrande. Also Iacona playing Tassadar. Caterpillar on Diablo. Glaurung playing Thrall, and finally playing Zagara will be Luck.
Taking a look at level 1 talents, it will be Wolfheart picked up at level 1. Lost Soul picked up on Sylvanas. Again, I've always been a big fan of the W build on Sylvanas. You mix that with Cold Embrace 616. It's one of my favorite builds to run. And of course, we talked about the Owl build as well from Tyrande. Faye only plays Owl build ever. And, pretty
Devil's
standard,
Due. Devil's Due is the pickup this time for Diablo. So less souls needed for Resurrection instead of Soul Feast, which we saw with our last Diablo game.
Yeah. We'll see how this is going to go for these teams. Diablo Tyrande was one of the original gank combinations. It was first brought to primary life back when Tempest Storm first went to Europe for the first time. They ran like Diablo Tyrande like every single game that they did, and that's where it got a lot of steam. And then, of course, Diablo got nerfed, I believe. I don't remember, and we haven't seen it for a while, but it's back. It's a very terrifying combo, even with the new cleanse. You can do work with it.
So we have Sylvanas versus Zagara in the top lane, and here comes
bottom lane.
the gank squad into the bottom, but Radiant Dash is going to make sure that Dark Chimera gets away, and good callouts and good checks from the team, and knowing that that rotation was on its way, and they actually brought down 4 members, even Tassadar from the mid. So that was a little bit of time that he wasn't there soaking.
Yeah, it's really good call. I like the call not to dive on their tower there. We saw Caterpillar wanting to do it, but there's the flip on the Tomster. There's the stun as well, taking a lot of damage. A nice double gravity lapse, though, trying to keep him alive, and they get the kill on the ground. Tomster's trying to get away. Caterpillar's looking for it. He does get hit, end up securing the kill, but can they get the kill on the Caterpillar? Flame Strike comes out. He does not end up dodging it. They go for the kill. Can they get one last attack? No, Caterpillar just barely going to survive. A 1-for-1 exchange. Nice job from King of Blades. Tomster was in a bad spot. He almost got out of there somehow. But they salvaged the best of a worse situation.
Yeah, they must not have had the disengage up quite yet. And level 4 picked up by both of the teams in a second as King of Blades grabs theirs, looking at the talents. Interesting. We have Soul Catcher going to be the choice for Diablo. Most of the time, it's Fire Stomp ability. And it's not going to be the case this time, as he's looking for just trying to get as many souls as possible. We've seen different Diablos trying to work on making sure that they are tanky enough, considering when they are soloing the solo warrior on the team, and that seems to be the case this time for Caterpillar.
Caterpillar looking like he wants to be as aggressive as possible, probably expecting to die a few times, so making sure he constantly gets those souls rolling this game. Here's Zagara still sitting in the top lane, doing a great job. Cosmic outlaning Frozen X very hard, and this is a interesting decision making that needs to be made on King of Blades. There is an infinite amount of delay, infinite amount of delay on the end of Cognitive. They have Storms from Tassadar, they've got Chain Lightnings from Thrall, they've got pokes from both Diablo and Tyrande there. And they actually kept Collusion out of position here, get some nice damage onto him. But not only is Cognitive being able to stall this out, but Iacona keeps rotating mid, and it's going to start getting almost experiencing. But a nice hook goes on the Tyrande. The follow-up is there. Good shadow charge from Caterpillar, and Faye is just barely going to live. Tomster goes for the kill, though, and he secures the kill on the Faye. He's looking for Iacona now. He shields himself. Caterpillar with this edge. Nice kill from Dark Chimera, though, and 2 kills immediately for King of Blades.
So that's exactly what they needed to do, and they walk away with the tribute on top of it. They knew that they were losing out on the push into the top, and Frozen X still not quite going down, but taking so much damage from Luck, who is at least almost out of mana. So that's a bit of a reprieve from Frozen X. But the push is going to go down onto the bottom from King of Blades, and they're going to try to equalize the amount of damage that's been done to their structures by moving in toward this bottom. Both teams now picking up level 7 talents.
Level 7 is here. See, take a look at what they picked. I mean, looking pretty standard across the board. I love the battle momentum pickup on Caterpillar. Just more aggression and being able to use your abilities a lot more. Iacona looking for the kill on Tomster, not going to be able to get it just yet, though. Echo of Heaven, of course, on Karazim, and Last Bite on Stitches. Really standard talents here.
Yeah, it will be Lunar Blaze for Tyrande as well, so making sure that you have the survivability of the increased range from Lunar Flare. You can still also be able to throw that out. Say a Caterpillar jumps in really far, whereas Faye may not be able to follow up with the stun because he's shadow charged in. This time she should be able to follow that up still because of that increased range.
And King of Blades doing a great job keeping themselves even with Cognitive, despite the experience advantage that has been gained from Tassadar rotating mid, as well as Cosmok doing work in the top lane. Second tribute is spawning. There are 3 members of King of Blades in the bottom. Tomster looks like he's going to clear this last wave here, and then he's going to rotate up. Sylvanas starting to counter push versus Cawthon, but Cognitive is the first team to get in position here in the mid lane. Or at the tribute, and we'll see if they can get it. Dark Chimera has to be careful going over for that interrupt forfeit. He does get the stun there at the last second. Caterpillar goes for a Shadow Charge onto Collusion. Hook comes out, does not end up connecting with Glaurung, and Tomster is actually willing to just stay bottom, and he's actually outlaning Iacona on Tassadar. That is not an easy thing to do. Tassadar is so safe in lane.
Yeah. Stitches they've got to be really careful with the Stitches. They're going to try to just go in and a great overpower right into the Lunar Flare, but they don't get the kill onto Collusion, and he's backing off. Minions still trying to chase down the members. At least they might try to pick up this tribute still, but they have to be really careful of the hook over the wall, because this is the entire team here now trying to get a pick off of somebody in Cognitive.
Greymane is here as well. It's 5 versus 5. Icona has rotated up. Will Faye get the loot or the cap? Nope. Dark Chimera does go in. And I mean, such bravery for him to go into those constantly with the Radiant Dash and trying to interrupt that, because if he does get caught in stuns, Dark Chimera will have trouble getting out of there. But so far, level 9 to level 9 Faye still going for a cap. Good rotations from Cognitive as they swing between top and mid to secure extra experience. They think they can win this point with that slight edge at level 10, and they're going to have it. They're about a quarter level ahead, and with Cawthon Luck clearing top lane, with Tassadar in the mid lane, they're just barely probably going to hit 10. Lunar Flare over the wall to interrupt it, but they get the hook at the last second. They do not get the tribute. Nice delay there, but the top lane, Cawthon Luck, or excuse me, Kel'Thas does end up going down. That secures 10 for Cognitive, and we see immediate disengage from King of Blades as they give up this tribute.
That was a really great job by both teams. Very patient, a lot of communication going in about who is going to interrupt and how they're going to do so. Great job with the hooks too. That could have been devastating if the wrong person got hooked from Cognitive. And because of that, only losing one, they're still very neck and neck in experience. But Cognitive are starting to work on this boss up top. Heroic abilities that we have: Apocalypse, Sundering, Force Wall, Shadow Stalk, and Devouring Maw. On the side of King of Blades, we have Wailing Arrow, Putrid Bile, Seven-Sided Strike, Go for the Throat, and Phoenix as well.
They do end up scouting the boss taken by Cognitive, but just a little bit too late. Boss for nothing in favor of Cognitive, as the boss wasn't being started by King of Blades. Just a little bit of less awareness of the map. You got to be mindful of. Tomster gets killed in the top lane. That's a dead Greymane. There's the Sundering coming out as well. Dark Chimera has no one to dash to. They're going for the kill here. He's looking over the wall potentially for a teammate, but Dark Chimera just going to stall us out as long as he can. That is going to be a dead Karazim. That's going to guarantee this boss securing this fort, as well as the second tribute going over to Cognitive.
Yep, nobody was there for a little bit to try to deal with this. The Talking Trees did come in, but the boss still will be able to pick up the fort and continue to move on. Cawthon is grabbing the tribute, and I love that we have Tassadar in the bottom still soaking. Cognitive has been perfect at constantly making sure that they're soaking all of these lanes and just staying ahead in this experience now, as they're almost a full level ahead. And if they can pick up 13 and have that advantage over their opponents before the next tribute fight, then that's going to secure them a curse.
Yep, they're trying their hardest to keep themselves as ahead as possible, and it's working out. I'm going to keep an eye on the later team fights. The Sundering Apocalypse combo is one of the most devastating combos in the game. I mean, it almost guarantees that the APOC kicks at least one person. Most of the time it hits everyone, if executed properly. So we'll have to keep an eye on that at 4 team fights as well. Level 13 is about to be picked up here for Cognitive, and they're scouting out the boss here. They catch Frozen next. There's the flip. Shadow Charge. Faye's in position for the stun. Hunter's Mark goes down. Haunting Wave comes out. Will Karazim be able to save him? Yes, he does. Just Frozen X just barely going to survive there.
So the build that we do have for Greymane is Incendiary Elixir at level 7, so it does more damage to the person in front. Hold that thought. We've got a fight in mid. Putrid Bile goes down, and Thrall is eliminated from the fight, and that's looking good for King of Blades, but unfortunately Tomster was stuck and does get taken out as well, so that will be a 1-for-1 here. Seven-Sided Strike drops down, does not catch anybody else, and so far it's a 1-for-1 on those melee assassins.
I love Iakona's decision making there. He started backing out of the 7-sided strikes, noticed Caterpillar was about to die, and he moved back into it to try and absorb as many shots as possible. It just shows you that he, the decision making of one of the top tier supports in North America. Really great job from them. It's going to be a 1-for-1 exchange here as the tribute is up. Like you said, this is a curse for Cognitive. And so King of Blades really looking to deny this grenade. His backup Thrall's on its way. Taking a look at the heroics using that last fight. A lot were used on the end of King of Blades, but those are short cooldowns. They're all up within about 15 seconds. We still have 70 seconds on Devouring Maw. That is going to be the only heroic down in this fight for Cognitive. Now, the nice force engagement here from Diablo, just trying to zone out people. Faye's going for the cap. Can't you get it? That's a curse for Cognitive.
Now, King of Blades wants to try to get the kills right here to stop that curse, but Sundering goes down. 7-sided strike as well. Apocalypse hits so many members of King of Blades, and Kael'thas is taken out. Caterpillar throwing Frozen X into his team. Another kill for Cognitive so far, and now we see the disengage trying from King of Blades, but they may lose more, and that's such a frustrating thing to deal with when you lose members right as a curse hits. Caterpillar's going in. They still think they can get collusion,
no.
Not quite able to get the overpower into the Lunar Flare. That would have been another takedown.
Messed up combo there from Caterpillar. He did not get the overpower on him, and that is unfortunate, as that probably would have been a death on Stitches, and that death would have probably guaranteed them being able to take this boss in the bottom left. I don't know if they can do that now. It would be a very, very greedy play. Looks like they might. Nope, they're just going to rotate up. Yeah, without the death of Stitches, they would not have been able to do that boss. So, 2-level lead right now for Cognitive as they're getting very, very close to level 16. They've taken all 3 forts down for, or excuse me, no, mid fort's still standing. But it's just about to go down. So that's going to be all 3 forts for King of Blades going down so far. Cognitive so close to that level 16. Cosmic's going to be able to secure that in the top lane. Tassar in the bottom lane. Iacona taking a lot of damage. Thompson looking to chase Snow. He's going to go ahead and back out. So that's 16 tier. It's a pretty big advantage right now.
We get the Dimensional Warp, which is really going to help with Iakona's survivability. We have Ranger as well, and we got Overflowing Light, even though that was reduced a little bit, the healing from that. It's still going to help make sure that everyone is kept nice and healthy on the side of Cognitive. A 2-level lead, and they're looking to hang around this boss so far. We also have On the Prowl, so looking to have Inner Beast up as much as possible between that and Wolfheart. Here comes another fight, though. Apocalypse goes down. Collusion is caught with that Force Wall, a perfect Force Wall, and it ensures that they do get the takedown onto Stitches. Devouring Maw, trying to keep the rest of the members from coming in here. They get the cap point as 7-sided strike went down, and he wasn't onto the point. And also from that, he gets charged into the wall and eliminated too.
Yep, nice kills there from Cognitive, and when the curse is up, the Apocalypse color with this skin is actually kind of hard to see. When he did the Apox under, it took me a second to notice where all the Apox were. So definitely a nice advantage there for Cognitive there, as they do have that level 16. They're taking this boss here. That's going to pressure that bottom keep. Curious if they're willing to push with it or not. Caterpillar is very low. No, they're all going to go back and refresh them, and all 5 of them are actually backing here.
So although we don't have Fire Devil at level 4, we still do have Firestorm and then Rampage too. So still a lot of damage coming out from Diablo, especially once you get that Rampage, and also just great movement speed to help him be able to catch people out. King of Blades trying to work on getting caught back up with 16, getting some pressure back out in the map where they can, but for now just trying to deal with that boss in bottom, and because of the fact that they have those 16 talent advantages and those takedowns onto King of Blades, Cog is going to get the second boss for free too.
Yep, Cognitive is going to get 2 front walls down at least. That top boss should be able to get the front wall on top as well. So that's just 2 exposed keeps for later on if they get a wipe or if they get another curse. Cognitive just taking as many Merc camps as you can. You see Galauron going down to the Giants in the bottom right. Caterpillar and Faye taking the Knights on their side of the map. And the map is basically painted as red as possible, minus the 1 siege camp on the left-hand side of the map. But the tributes are starting to spawn, Gilly. This is a 1-0 advantage right now for King of Blades. And they're just about to have 16 tier. I think they have to give up this tribute, but they can definitely contest the next one.
Yeah, it's an okay one to give up. Oh, that owl wrecking Sylvanas and Kael'thas. They know, I love that. They know that they're going to be defending the boss. I mean, they see it as well, and the owl's just continually going out. Here comes another one. This one at least gets avoided, but that max range damage from Ranger is scary, especially for those squishy backline heroes.
Well, we do see the rotations from Cognitive trying to find a position to get a kill here. This is the later we get into the game, the more destructive those these picks are with the Diablo Tyrande combo. Thrall exposing himself bottom lane, just showing himself to the enemy team. King of Blades looking like they might be going for a collapse. Cognitive's rotating away. Is Glaurung in trouble there? He pop the Wind Fury. Will the hook be able to connect? Collusion is looking for it. It does come out, but not even close. Glaurung is going to be just fine.
They're looking maybe for a potential re-engage, at least initially. They're going to move back. They know that they have a good advantage and that they're on their way to 20. So it's not something that's too concerning where they really need to try to find a risky fight. And they have to pay attention to hooks because hooks are what can bring King of Blades back into this game.
So close. They need to get a hook. They're 100% right, Gilly. They need to try and get a pick off before these fights. And they need to do it now. Cognitive has a 1-level lead right now. Hooks come out, still not connecting. If Cognitive can get that level 20, I mean, they have to force the fight beforehand.
All right, we've already used Arcane Barrier onto Kael'thas, and because of that, Caterpillar, great overpower into the Apocalypse, and he's taken out. Glaurung gets hit by a 7-sided strike, though, and is taken out, too, so it's a 1-for-1 still, and Caterpillar is going to get caught in all of the members of King of Blades, so he's going to get taken out. But a hook over into the Force Wall, but Devouring Maw, at least initially, stops the onslaught of the rest of the members of King of Blades. Tomster getting low, does have vulnerability.
He's trying to get away. Fade's not sending out the owl just yet. Waiting patiently for it. The owl's coming out. Can Topster avoid it? He's tried to walk away. He does end up just barely avoiding it. But now Cognitive with the res of Diablo showing the power of his trait, they're able to secure themselves another tribute.
Yeah, the fact that they do have Devil's Due as well as the Soul Catcher we saw means that it's okay if he's the first one to get taken out. He can soak a lot of ability damage because of that and come right back in. And because of the constant delay that you talked about earlier between the piercing owls, the psionic storms that you could throw out, all of the minions from Zagara too, they have such great delay until the rest of the members can get into position, until they can get Diablo back as well.
Well, level 19, about halfway there to level 20. They're just about to get themselves the Storm Talons, and this is going to be a very hard uphill battle for King of Blades if they do end up getting that 20 tier. Yeah, they're just so close to it that I don't know if they can't contest this next tribute. That's going to be a curse as bosses are starting to spawn as well, which is also a scary thing to have to face. You know, a curse with a boss this late in the game when you're down 20 to 18. It's tough.
Yeah. It'll be keeps at least, if not the game, on top of it. Okay, so we're picking up our Storm Talents, and we have 2 Bolts of the Storm thus far. Ooh, the Dying Breath. So it reduces the cooldown of Apocalypse, which is a pretty long cooldown, but then also it casts again if you die. So now they have that to contend with if they choose to focus down Caterpillar the way they did in the last fight. Also Rewind for both Tyrande and Tassadar. So in case those owls weren't annoying enough, now you get 2 of them.
We do see that the point is being contested here. No hook. Dark Chimera is going to have to use a Radiant Charge to get it, but the stun flip is there, and that's a curse for Cogden. Really well done there from Cog. Dark Chimera caught in a Force Wall, having to reposition himself. Cognitive looking to force the fight. There's Shadow Assault. Sunray comes out. He's going to hit one person into the Apocalypse. And the Lunar Flare comes out on the Kael'thas. That's going to be the death of Greymane. Cognitive looking to force this forward as well. You have another Force Wall. Nice Maul going down from Kozmok over the wall. Going to catch him out of position. That's going to be the death of Stitches and Talking Trees. And with a curse here, with Giants pushing bottom lane at 2 versus 5 for the next 40 seconds, Gilly. Cognitive going for a small wall. Looks like they're going to try and get a win.
What a beautiful engagement from them. Glau willing to move into the U to try to find the perfect, okay, they're going to get Sylvanas, but just to get the perfect sundering off of that, the sunder into the Apocalypse was perfectly timed. Coffin's Devouring Maw over the wall to make sure they can get Kael'thas. Kael'thas is huge to take out when you're trying to siege into an enemy base because, you know, Chain Bomb can still do so much damage to you and may make the difference. And that'll be it. GG. Yep. Cognitive moves on to the next round.
Yep, really well played from Cognitive. I mean, I have to give it to King of Blades. For an up-and-coming team, a team that going into these last 2 qualifiers, I would have said, you know, they don't really have a chance. They're still way too new to the scene. They're still that underdog position. But they put up a fantastic fight versus Cognitive, who's considered probably the 3rd best team in North America right now. You know, I believe recently they also took out Tempo Storm in the qualifier, one of the qualifiers for Enter the Storm as well. King of Blades, man, as as of late, they're starting to get it together, and they're really starting to impress me.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with their play too, and I wish them luck. And I hope to continue seeing them play in the rest of these qualifiers and maybe even make it into regionals. Speaking of games, so far I'm looking at the bracket. It looks like Elevate and Blaze are still facing off in the top part of the bracket. We might have an update in chat if the bracket hasn't been updated with
Resurgence
that
just
yet.
2-0'd 2-Arc, so we know who COG is playing as well.
Yep. And I believe that will be here, guys. We'll have
Yes.
Cognitive versus Resurgence. And that is the qualifying match. So these
Yeah.
teams one series, one win away from being able to have a breath of relief that they are able to qualify in the second.
If Team
second
Blaze
round.
beats Elevate, I think most people were able to predict the top four for this event: Cognitive, Resurgence, Blaze, and Tempo Storm. Blaze and Tempo Storm should be going on over at twitch.tv/SolidJakeGG if Blaze, beats Elevate. I don't know where that series is standing just yet. But yeah, we have Cognitive versus Resurgence coming up, guys.
It's going to be awesome. I can't wait. We already had a great series with King of Blades. I can't wait to see this rematch between Cognitive and Resurgence. Don't forget, that was a match that we actually got to cast last week. It was a rematch for them. They faced each other and entered the storm, and Resurgence won that. Cognitive won the match in the last series last week, but I think it was 2-1. I think.
Yes.
So yeah, it was a close match, and I think we're gonna have some really good games coming up.
Resurgence also beat Cognitive in a different tournament. Might have been the Enter the Storm qualifier. So
Yeah.
I believe
Back and forth.
yes, back and forth. So they do have been trading lately. This is starting to become a rivalry as well.
Yeah.
So guys, stay tuned. We're gonna have a quick commercial break. When we get back, we'll have the final match of the night for this stream, a qualifying match for the North American Regional. Stay tuned.